Hello world, welcome back to the Razor RC, and today we're going to be talking about the 5 most important upgrades and modifications for your HPI Bullet. This will apply to the stadium truck, the ST, or the monster truck, the MT, like we have right here in front of us. Also to the nitro version, I think it was nitro or gas, I can't remember exactly, but yeah, pretty much all those vehicles use the exact same design, same parts and all that kind of stuff. So I did find some weaknesses in this vehicle. I've been running it for the last few weeks, have been breaking a fair amount of things under pretty mild conditions, and so I want to talk about 5 most important upgrades as well as 1 additional bonus modification that I recommend. Before we get going on too far, I highly recommend you check out yourrc.com. We do have a 5% off coupon code off anything off their website. So whether you want an HPI, an Arma, a Traxxas, Team Corrale, a Yokomo, a Kyosho, a Tamiya, whatever you want, they do have a 5% off coupon code, and it'll apply to any order, as well as under €5 shipping throughout Europe. So pretty economical to get shipping if you live in Europe. Even here in the US, things get to me pretty darn fast, 2 to 3 days. So number 1 on the list is kind of just a maintenance requirement. This vehicle comes with all Phillips head screws, and so what I did was basically replace all the Phillips head screws with hex head screws, like these black oxide screws. It's not so much that they will necessarily break or anything on the first run, but just for maintenance, it is a lot easier to use hex head screws. You know, pretty much every other RC car out there uses hex head screws. The other reason is as this chassis wears down here on the bottom, and if you have Phillips head screws, they will kind of wear down as well. The screws kind of wear down, and then it'll be more and more difficult to get those Phillips head screws out. So I highly recommend getting hex head screws out of the box. Just install them wherever you can. I haven't replaced all of them, but most of the critical hex heads or screws have been replaced with hex heads. So that would be number 1 on my list. Just for maintenance purposes, get rid of those Phillips head screws. Number 2 on the list is replacing all these steering components, hubs, etc. with the aluminum version. So just on the very first run, I cracked a spindle, pretty much like on the second run. The rear hub, it didn't break, but it was flexing a lot. The dog bone popped out. That was super annoying. So this is not on big jumps. These are like 1 to 2 foot high jumps. Nothing crazy. Pretty much running this on mild, like 2S power systems and stuff. So whatever reason, they are pretty fragile. The spindle, I cracked one. Also the C-hub, I cracked one. Again, just driving it, on pretty much flat ground, doing very, very small jumps, not crashing or anything. The C-hub broke. So yeah, those seem to be, 3 areas that are pretty weak. Fortunately, you can buy a set of all 3 of these in one pack. I think they're like $40 or so. I'll provide a link to them. I would not recommend using the screws that come with these pieces. Just reuse all the stock components and just use the aluminum pieces, because for whatever reason, those bearings that come with this thing are quite bad and pretty much fell apart on the first run. So these aluminum pieces seem to be doing okay. I don't think they're the highest quality thing, but they're fairly inexpensive and they do work, so recommend picking those things up. Number 3 on this list is changing out these hexes. So the plastic hexes are super annoying because they don't hold on. As soon as you pull off a wheel, pretty much this hex falls off and then the drive pin falls off, and that's really, really annoying. So you can pick up a set of these. I got the 14mm hexes. You can also get 12mm hexes, I believe, but these kind of replace the original design, original size, so they fit nice and snug. They're also a clamping design, as you can see here. So they got a little screw to clamp this thing on. So as you pull off the wheels, these don't fall off. One thing I would recommend is actually sticking in some Traxxas Teflon washers right in there. I did notice these seem to have a little more play than the stock pieces, so just put a couple of those Teflon pieces, spaces them out a little bit, gets rid of that play, gets rid of that slop, and works a lot better. So that would be number 3 on the list. Number 4 would be to swap out the stock dog bones for these CVAs or CVDs, whatever you want to call them. I did find the dog bones were popping out on the front end for some reason. I think there was just still too much flex with these arms and stuff. They were popping out on the rear, but the aluminum rear hubs seem to have fixed that, so I didn't replace those yet. Those seem to be holding, but the fronts still, again, the dog bones are popping out. These are somewhat expensive. These are HPI pieces. I think they're like 35 bucks for a set, so I only did the front, saving a few bucks. But yeah, that'll prevent those dog bones from popping out. That, again, is one really annoying thing about this vehicle. It does use dog bones all four corners, and with the amount of flex in the arms and the hubs and everything, I do find that these things do pop out. So yeah, I recommend swapping those out. That'll improve your life and the durability of this vehicle immensely. Number 5 is to pick up some of these little Traxxas white plastic washers and just throw them down on all 4 body posts. They just add a little more durability to your body. As you can see here, the body clips will basically start rubbing into the body. They're just little wires that, you know, are not really supporting the body a whole lot. By using these little white discs, it kind of spreads out the loads, spreads out the impact across the whole body here, less likely to punch through, and it'll make your body last a little bit longer. You could glue these straight onto the body if you want, if you don't, you don't want to put them on and off your body posts all the time, but putting this on the vehicle itself just gives a little more support for your body, less likely to break through. Your body will last a little longer, and this is a very nice, pretty attractive looking body. The body's not too thin actually here on the top. It is reasonably thick, but not super thick. It does feel like it's Lexan, so pretty good quality material, but this will just allow it to last a lot longer. Most vehicles nowadays use some kind of big post, but these still use like little body clips and really don't support the body quite as well. So that is tip number 5. And for the bonus modification, I do recommend kind of trimming out or dremeling, opening up the top of the battery tray here. This does clip on to the battery box with 3 different body clips. I think that is a little bit of improvement. It used to be like 6 different body clips, but it has a little bit of a little ledge here to kind of like tuck underneath and hold it down there. But the stock piece, pretty much will only fit a Dean's connector. If you're using any sort of like EC5 or whatever, it's just not going to go through the top of the body tray there. So what I did was basically just cut it down, just kind of trimmed it out on all 3 sides, open it up, allow you a little more space to get a decent sized connector through there. So that'll fit like an EC5 or an XT 60 or whatever you're using. So I do highly recommend that. It's not going to cost you any money. Just use some clippers or Dremel or hobby knife or something, open that thing up and allow you to actually use some decent connectors. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the HPI Bullet 5+1 little modifications, upgrades that I think make your life a heck of a lot better. It'll add a lot more durability to this thing. You can actually run this thing without it breaking, every 30 seconds. So that is nice. It's not a bad vehicle. It actually drives pretty well, but it does certainly need some durability improvements out of the box, as well as just some maintenance and usability fixes to allow you to sort of modernize this vehicle and make your life a little simpler. So again, check out your RC. We do have 5% off coupon code. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Look for more videos soon. Thanks for watching.